Okay, so let's talk about difference between interface and versus abstract. So in your programming, you might be using a lot of times interface and abstract. So let's try to find out a difference when to decide we will go for abstract and when we will decide to go for interface. So abstract will be used when you have few methods unimplemented and when you have few methods implemented. So suppose there are 5 methods and you have defined few methods but you have not defined few methods that you have marked as a abstract. In that case you have to go for abstract class. So abstract class in the business scenario, you have when to decide to go for abstract class is you are giving a flexibility to your child class to implement few of the methods which are not implemented in the parent class. In case of interface, this is the contract of you have all the methods as a unimplemented, and the classes who will implement those interface, they have to define those unimplemented methods. Otherwise they have us, if they don't do, they have to mark themselves as abstract class. Okay, so abstract can have few implemented method and few unimplemented method, but in case of interface it has all unimplemented method. So design of contract of the interface is like that the class which will implement all the interface, they have to define all the unimplemented methods. In case of abstract, there is flexibility that you have few implemented method and few unimplemented method. So the class which will extend the abstract class, they can reuse the methods which is available in the abstract parent class, and as well as they need to implement the unimplemented method in the way the child class decides. Okay, interface helps multiple inheritance. So in case of interface you can extend other interfaces, you can extend more than one interfaces. In case of abstract class you can use a single inheritance, like class will extend only one class. Class can implement more than one interfaces, but class can extend one class. In opposite, interface can extend multiple interfaces. Interface are by default abstract and cannot have implementation. So interface, as I said, all the methods will be abstract and public by default. Variables in interface are always public, static and final. Okay, in case of abstract class, it is optional. You can make your private, protected, anything, that's up to programmer. Member method of interface are always public and abstract. In case of abstract, it is can be private and can be protected and can be public. Java interfaces are slower than abstract class. Okay, so abstract class are useful for modeling the class hierarchy. So when you decide to go for abstract class, you know that this will maintain a hierarchy of parent, then their child class will implement the unimplemented method, but interface let other knows about its capability. So interface provides that these are the set of methods that anyone has to implement these methods. Okay, so it gives that this interface has this certain capability. Suppose I say that I have some operation interface which does certain level of certain kind of methods, that is its capability. So now any child class which implements interface, they have to define those capability in their own way. In a program, when you're writing a project, when you're making a project, you can use both. So that's you need to understand a difference between number of differences between abstract and interface. This is very useful, and in a lot of interviews this type of questions been asked. You have to have very basic understanding and very detailed understanding about interface and abstract class. Let's move to next. Here we have seen that we have created a lot of class and class itself, where C is small, that is a keyword. But when you say class where C is capital, that Java provides a class that name of the that class is class. So what it does, so it basically a class which has a lot of APIs associated with this class, which will help you to find out detail about the object. Like if you want to find if a object is the object of, if suppose you want to find a particular object is of type interface or of type class, so you can find out the class of that object. You can load the class. Okay, so far we have seen that how we run the Java program. So we run the, when I say in command prompt Java, it will compile it, and when I say Java, it loads it and you will run the program. There is other way to run the program is we can load the class using class methods. We can create the instance of class, we can create the objects. So far we were creating the objects like saying that new and calling the constructor. So there is other way to create the instance of the class, that is the place where we can use the class. It can be helpful to find the package of the class. Suppose if you have been given a class name, you can easily find out what is the package of this class. It basically checks if object of class of array, primitive type, or interface, or member, etc. You can do it. So a lot of APIs are available in class. If I want to show in website, I can show that, but let's try to see the documentation of abstract class, documentation of class. So in Eclipse, what you need to do, that you have to open type. The shortcut is Control-Shift-T. So here there is something you can do it. Okay, so open type. So Control-Shift-T. When you use this, you can find out all the classes available in your project are available in JRE. If JRE is available, JRE is associated in your Eclipse. So I will say class. So it is available in java.lang package and JRE, whatever JRE I am using. So this is available. If you see the package of this is available in package java.lang. This is default package. Whenever you do the programming, any class if you use in Java lang package, you don't need to import it. You don't need to import this package. So this class, if you see here, this is, I'm opening all the methods and variables as a snapshot. You can see it has a lot of methods which will help you to manage your program in better way. Okay, so there are a lot of scenarios where you will need to use class methods. So okay, so let's try to play with few methods in class. Okay, let's create a class in Java basic package. The name of the class is test class. Okay, let's write one main method. Now suppose, so far we have created a lot of classes. Let's try to see that if I create a class of, suppose I declare a variable. I declare a variable of, say, I think we have employee class. Okay, now if I say class dot, okay, let's do one thing. Let's create the object new employee, and I say that emp dot get class. When you say get class, you will get the class of that emp. Okay, if you want to print this emp dot get class, once you run it, okay, you will see the class that says that com dot training dot java dot basic dot employee. So this is the class you will get when you say employee dot get class. The return type of that get class is class itself. Okay, and you can do a lot of things. Let's try to do emp dot get class, then try to see the other methods. So you can say that get canonical name, and you can say that you can get the name, so, and you can get the modifiers of that class. So the modifiers of that class is 1. Okay, it will give you the value which is available in the modifier. This is not very much frequently used. I will talk about more methods which are frequently used. So name we use canonical name. We can use the again get class. Okay, we can use that constructor. So if it has any constructor, it will print it here. Okay, how do they do? They do basically based on the reflection. There is one concept in Java called reflection, and when class works, that works based on the reflection. So reflection is the package which is available in java.lang.reflection, and a lot of classes are available in that package. Okay, so let's try to see that what the capability. Suppose we want to find out the class, so that's how we have seen here. So let's print that toString method of that class. Let's do one thing. Let's put this one is below, so that let's remove other. Okay, so that you can easily see the result. So let's put toString and see the value. So here you will see the toString form of the get class. Okay, suppose let's see how you can load a class. Suppose your class is, say, string class name. You say that basically I want to load this class employee. Okay, now you have to load this class. So far we have loaded the class. When you run the program, then your class will be loaded and your method will run based on your need. So here there is one method called class.forName. So class.forName, you have to pass the name of the class that is in string form, including the package. So it will load that class into the memory. So class.forName, it loads the memory. So while doing that, there may be possibility that whatever class you are giving here, it may not be available in the system. So in that case, there is possibility of throwing the class not found exception. So what we will do, as of now, don't put too much stress on understanding of this exception. I will tell you in detail. Okay, so this is now my class has been loaded. Okay, so when you say class for name, it returns a class of say employee okay. So it will return a class of employee which is loaded into the memory. Now what I can do, I can say that new instance. When you say new instance, you can call the method say get name. Okay, so there could be few exceptions while doing this, so I am throwing those exceptions as of now. So here let's do one thing. Let's, when you create this instance name, so it will create the object of employee. Okay, now I say that employee dot set name say Shiv, then I say employee dot get name, and let's print this. Okay, so if you see here the employee class I am loading. Okay, once I loaded the class, I will get the class which is already loaded, then I will create the instance of that class, that is emp, then I will use that class. Here I am setting the name and getting the name. Once I do it, I will get the name of the employee which I have set. So this is same as if I say employee emp1 is equal to new employee, then emp1 dot set name, then I say system dot out dot println emp1 dot get name. If you run this, you will get the same result. Okay, so this is the another way of creating the object. So how we will load the class using class dot for name, and once class is loaded, it will create the new instance of that class. Okay, then we will see how to find the package of that class. Suppose here I have created a emp1. Okay, so let's see that what is the package of emp1. So I say emp1 dot get class dot get package. So if I print that, I will say emp1, so the package of class for object emp1 is this one. Okay, so if you run this, the package of class for object emp1 is package, that is the to denote it is package, then it is Java training com training Java basics. So it will, you can easily find out what is the package of that. Suppose you say that I will say new big integer. Okay, so I have created the class of, I have created the object of big integer, and I want to see what is the package of big integer in Java. Okay, so I say big integer, I have to pass something. So that is available in package java.math. Okay, and this is the package, and that is available in the version JDK version of 1.7. Same way, if you want to find out a string, it should be coming as java.lang. So this is pretty much easy. You can play with this capability of the class methods to understand your JDK packages, classes, how many methods are there. So let's see a few more things. Let's say that employee dot get class dot get methods. So if you say method here, if you print this methods, it will just give you hexadecimal some value of some reference in the memory. Okay, that it will automatically call the its parent to a string. So let's try to find out the methods. So what we will do, we will first try to manage with this. If you don't know what is the return type of any method, you can just give a dummy. So I have given int x. I know that compilation problem will come and Eclipse will suggest some solution of that. Let's try to see what solution it says. That it says that it has to change to array of methods. Okay, that's, you can use this kind of tricks when you are bit handy with your Java. So I know that this will return set of methods. Now it has a lot of methods. Now I want to print the name of those methods. So what I will do, I will create one loop, say that int I is equal to 0, I less than methods dot length I plus plus, then I will say methods I dot get name. Okay, so in this way I am trying to print all the class, all the methods of my employee class. So if you see here, let's comment other sysouts. So this will give you all the methods available in this class, employee class. So there are two string, get id, set name, set id, wait, equals. Okay, so if you see these few methods which are coming from its parent class. So every class has its parent as an object. That's the reason it is pulling all those methods also here. So this is another way to prove that every class extends object. Okay, let's try to see few more. Check if object of class of array, a primitive, a interface, a member, or class etc. Suppose I want to find out okay, let's uncomment it. Sorry, let's comment it. Then I say sysout, I will say emp dot get class dot is instance of I want to find out the emp, whatever instance I have created or employee, that is of employee class. No, it is something wrong. Okay, so I may not be knowing the completely how it works. So let's try to see some other example, other methods. So let's see that if a class is of primitive, so is primitive. So this class is of primitive. Of course, it is not a primitive. So I should be seeing false for this. Okay, it is a interface. No, it is not an interface. So suppose I say that I have interface, say I think I have one interface. So test interface is there, say TI. Okay, if I say TI, it has to be initialized. So let's initialize with any okay, it seems that it is a class. So let's try to see inheritance. I think I have created few inheritance, sorry, interface. Okay, so my interface is the interface which I am using here. So let's see, my interface is equal to new, what is that class? So test interface, new test interface is the class which is implementing my interface. So if I say my interface dot get class, it is not an interface because I am creating the instance of this class, so it is not an interface. Let's try to see. So I have given my interface dot class dot interface is interface, so it is true. So if I give employee, that is interface, no, it's not interface, it is a class. Okay, so that's way you can, it is a, say it is array, no, it is not array, it is a simple class. So the value of, when I run it, it will come false. So the bottom line to say that class has a lot of capability to check about the instances, check about your what is the type of your class. It will give you the methods of your class. It can find out the constructors in a class in dynamic. So it uses internally, it uses reflection mechanism in Java. Okay, so let's try to move to the next thing, wrapper classes.